The history of York, England, as a city dates to the beginning of the first millennium ADE, but archaeological evidence for the presence of people in the region of York dates back much further to between $8,000 and 7000 BC. As York was a town in Roman times, its Celtic name is recorded in Roman sources as Eboracum and Eboracum. After 400, Angles took over the area and adapted the name by folk etymology to Old English Eophoric or Eophoric, which means wild boar town or rich in wild boar. The Vikings, who took over the area later, in turn adapted the name by folk etymology to Norse Jorvik, meaning wild boar bay. Jor being a contraction of the Old Norse word for wild boar, Jofur. The modern Welsh name is Efrog. York within England, after the Anglian settlement of the north of England. Anglian York was first capital of Deira and later Northumbria, and by the early 7th century, York was an important royal center for the Northumbrian kings. Following the Norman conquest of 1066, York was substantially damaged, but in time became an important urban center as the administrative center of the county of Yorkshire. York prospered during much of the later medieval era. The later years of the 14th and the earlier years of the 15th centuries were characterized by particular prosperity. During the English Civil War, the city was regarded as a royalist stronghold and was besieged, and eventually captured by parliamentary forces under Lord Fairfax in 1644. After the war, York retained its preeminence in the north, and by 1660 was the third largest city in England after London and Norwich. Modern York has 34 conservation areas, 2,084 listed buildings and 22 scheduled ancient monuments in its care. Every year, thousands of tourists come to see the surviving medieval buildings, interspersed with Roman and Viking remains and Georgian architecture.